should have both of those, and now I'm gonna pull it right here. Which one do you want to do first?
I don't know.
First, let's do the first time around. So many files. Sorry, hold on. Here we go. First time around, reference MP3.
One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The bass goes into a 4/4 swing, like 1, 2. When somebody says playing 4, they mean when they're swinging, they mean the bass hits on all 4. The bass, upright bass, boom, 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 that kind of thing. Now the hi-hat part that they're playing sounds more like it's in 2. Now you can mix these up if you want, but most of the time if the bass is going boom, a 3, a 1, a 3 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. If they're going all 4, you usually go to the right. If they're doing just the 2, you give them that kind of thing. But in this case, they're mixing it up. So they're doing the 2 feel on the hi-hat with the upright bass. Now you hear that sometimes. I would just say in general, you don't do that. But if you listen to, say, like Count Basie and some of that stuff, they do it anyway. So it's not like a hard and fast rule, but it's just a generally you want to emphasize 1 and 3 when you're doing that, 2 feel. But let's listen to it again. And let me rewind here. So
1,
first is what
2,
we call like a pedal.
1, 2,
where she's
3,
hitting on
4.
pedal 2, 4, 4. You could hit the third tone. So that's the hi-hat 2 feel, but the bass is hitting on all 4. I'll play that for me. let's sort of go over this bar by bar here.
Do I have the right sheet music?
Huh?
Is this sheet music for this song?
Should be not Caribbean dance, but
I have, it's definitely not the same thing. It doesn't look, it's not swing at all. But that's what you.
no, yeah, that's the other one.
Okay.
That's the, I accidentally sent it to Cole first, and then
Ah, okay.
I think I sent it to you separately. It's called the First Time Around. So let's take a look here. Let's take your phone and sort of turn it sideways, and let's zoom in on 4 bars at a time.
I only have Caribbean dance.
You still, oh, let's see here. I thought it said you got it.
You sent it in a separate group chat,
Oh, the other
I
one?
think.
Oh, this might be it. Okay, I see it.
I sent it to you
I see it.
individually because I accidentally sent it to Cole first.
Got you.
All right, so let's zoom in on the first 4 bars. Is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, that's Caribbean dance. Yeah. Did you find it yet? Or?
Yeah, I see it. This one.
Okay, first time around. So what we call that is a pedal, where the bass is kind of pedaling on that note. It sort of builds tension. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you're good on that. Then it goes to the hi-hat for a bit. Ding, 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 ding. Those little repeat signs just mean keep on trucking. Sometimes they'll give you slash, like a slash, 4 slashes, and that just basically means keep playing time. And the only time you stop generally is if they give you some rests. If they still have something there, you just don't stop playing, keep on going. Now the very first rhythm that we have, let's zoom into, since we're all on our phones here, let's zoom into bar 10. Let's actually do bar 9 and 10. And so we're still on the hi-hat. Now there's a bunch of ways you could approach that. You all see the and of 3 on bar 10. Ding, ding, starting in bar 9, it's ding, 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 ba, ba, ding, ding. You see that? So what we can do is we can sort of loop those 4 bars because it's sort of the same thing twice, right? Ding, 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 ba, ba, ding, 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 ba, da, ding, you know what I mean? It's on the end 3. So a couple things, you could do that on the hi-hat and not, you don't even necessarily have to hit it. That's the kind of deceptive thing about that. You see how it's written above the line, the bar? Some of these rhythms you'll see they're written in the bar. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all see where I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's called a cue. Now a cue can be something you totally ignore and it just tells you where you are in the music and you don't even have to hit it. Or it could be something you just pop the snare drum or the bass drum on just to emphasize it. Or if you chose to, you could set it up. Now in this case I wouldn't set it up because it's sort of just a secondary kind of hit thing, you know what I mean? So you're trucking along playing your hi-hat, ting, ting, ka-ting, ting, ka-ting, ting, ka-ting, pop, ting, you know what I mean? You could go shooting to pop, you know, or something like that, but that's up to you. So that's where your interpretive thing comes into these songs. 10 So 10 drummers could play this 10 different ways. Some might choose to hit it, some might choose to set it up, some might not hit it at all. You see what I'm saying? So let's do this. Let's listen, since this is the reference track, it's got all the drums added. Let's just listen to what goes on here.
1, 2, 1, 2,
You might say,
3, 4.
you could set that up if you want, you don't have to. Now, if you hear stuff you don't play inside of that, you're gonna want it. Going back to the repeat. Zero right. Bar 9. Ding. Hot. Second ding. Next bar. Roll forward. Yeah, well, basically, if you listen to it, and let's take a look at the top of the second page there. So there are some parts of that are, like if you look at the second bar, you see a triplet there? That is a setup that they wrote for you. Chicka da da da, you know what I mean? So like the main part to kick are the accented parts. Like the hard part sometimes about reading big band music is to know what to ignore and what to not ignore, right? Because sometimes what they do is they want you to hit a certain hit, but they'll write out, like if I've seen this a bunch where they want the and of two, but they'll go 1, 2, and so you think, okay, is this ba ba ba? But it's actually you know what I mean? Like they're not playing those first, they're just writing it to say here's where the hit is, and the accented hit's only really the and of two, where you know it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. So you want to use your ears and your eyes, and this is sort of more like a roadmap. You know, even if there's like a fill written in like in the top of the second bar, or the second bar on the top of the second page, even if it's got check it da 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 or something like that, you don't have to play that. It's really just a suggestion by the arranger, right? Or the composer or whatever. And another thing, by the way, is if you have to play a chart and you have to do someone's exact version of it, and they say, here's a chart for this song, the arranger and the title is all you need. You don't even need the composer. The arranger is more important than the composer, because if you're, say, playing Satin Doll and it's arranged by whoever, then if you look on YouTube, you can find that exact chart that you're going to play if you get the arranger. Composer doesn't matter. It's always the same composer if it's Satin Doll or whatever. But there are probably 10 different arrangements of it. And so if you say, you know, Bill Jones arranged Satin Doll, and you look on YouTube, you'll find exactly that arrangement of it, probably. You know, most of the time you'll find it. So that's a big tip. Like if you have to play a chart gig, and it's a standard kind of chart, it's probably going to be on YouTube or somewhere where you can hear it. Sometimes it's on sheetmusic.com or something like that. You can hear the actual part, so you can listen to it and see what they're doing. Now, let's just take a look at some other sections here. And a lot of this is literally just playing the exact figures around the drums. Bop, bop, boo, da, bop. You might just go zap, zap, zega, da, boo, bop. You know, you might throw a triplet in there. You might just play exactly what's on there. So I find that it's kind of sometimes tempo dependent. It's also dependent on how good the people you're playing with are. Do they need you to play every little beat with them? Or do they, you know, a friend of mine used to say playing in a big band is like being a sheepdog. And that's basically the idea, is that sometimes you got to play something simple that everybody can tell what's going on. Some of those cats in that big band can't swing. I always use the joke of like the fourth or fifth trombone person, which a lot of times they're, you know, great players or whatever, but the cat on the very end of the whatever section, any of those sections, you got to make sure that they can all hear exactly where, if they have to hit the end of one, you got to go, blah, 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 blah. You know, you got to show them exactly where it is so that everybody swings that note together. So, you know, that's kind of your job. A lot of times I look at big band drumming not so much from a jazz perspective, but I almost look at it as like a sort of more notey blues gig. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to, when I play jazz combo, that's different, but big band jazz, it's where basically all the great British rock drummers that you love, or that people love, I don't know if y'all do, but like Keith Moon and all those cats, they were listening to African-American blues and rock and jazz drummers, and that's where you get Led Zeppelin's drummer, loved American drummers, and was copying them, and big band drummers had double bass before anybody else, and they had sparkle finishes, and big fat drums, and big drum solos, all that stuff that you think of as rock and roll stuff came out of the big band era. Even solos, even like shredded guitar solos, that's straight from big band era. Some sax player stands up and shreds for a couple bars, that's exactly where that came from. So anyway, the point is that when you play in a big band like this, you have to play very muscular stuff. You might play a lot of chops, but you gotta be clear as a bell, like, wherever that fill stops, you can play all the chops in the world, but as long as they can feel where one is, bam, then they can hit the and one, or whatever it is. And a two, one, a two, shake it to goop, you know, that kind of thing. You gotta really, really line it out for them. And the more clear you are about what you play on the drums, the better they're gonna sound. They're gonna swing. Some drummers will sit down behind a big band and it'll sort of, might sound okay, but they're kind of playing, laying back. But if you know what you're doing and you're driving the bus, as they say, you're gonna make them swing whether they want to swing or not. Like, you have no choice. Bam, we're swinging. And you better get on board. And even if your swing has to be so strong that even if they aren't swinging, it still feels swinging. In fact, I played some gigs like that recently where I don't care if y'all are swinging or not, I'm swinging, and we're all gonna make this happen, you know? And you have to be very confident to play in big band. That doesn't mean you play a ton of notes, you can. A lot of my students, you know, end up doing that in big band, and that's fine, but it has to be clear, okay? So anyway, let's go over some specifics of this one. I think the other one's not too hard. This one's probably a little harder than the other one, so we'll spend more time on this one. Well, let's check out the first page again. And let's loop bars 9 through, well, just 9 and 10. But put a pop on the downbeat of 9 when we loop it back. So it's like 1, 2, 3, pop. Ding, 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 pop. So let's start off on the hi-hat, because that's sort of where we're starting with this. I gotta open this door, y'all. Let me make sure nobody's down here. First up. Sorry. Caffeine, old age, being overweight. Go ahead and give me some 2 of 4 or hi-hat.
Ah, shoot.
Set it up, just a real light setup. A ding, 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 pop, pop. Ding, 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 pop, pop. Ding. Real short. A little tiny crack. You gotta be gentle with it. Now, in a big band, you can definitely do it like that if you want, and it may not be out of place. But in a combo, if you play 4 on the floor, you're gonna keep it real light. All right, let's zoom in on. Let's go 15 through 18. Everybody there? Ding, ding. This is now. It says to go to the ride cymbal. Now, if it's really specific like that, I generally go with what it says. Now, if your ears tell you like, well, that doesn't sound right, do whatever your ears tell you to do. Okay, but if everything's equal and there's no problem, I usually try to do what the arranger says to do. And if it feels weird or doesn't sound right, it's up to you to change it if you want to. You don't have to do exactly that. So now, let's loop that little chunk. Okay, my phone, let me put my phone so it will keep turning off here on me. So let's loop that little chunk. And ding, 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 I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, ba, 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 oh, da. 1, 2, 3, 4, ba, da, ba, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, da, da. Now, let's slow it down, ding, 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 and we're just gonna hit the snare drum on those rhythms, okay? And if you need to, just play quarter notes on the ride. That's okay if you just want to start with quarter notes. A 1, a 2, looping 15 through 19. Ready, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. might just set up probably the first one. Ding, 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 ra, You know, we wouldn't set up every single beat, you know what I mean? Some people try to do that. You know what I mean? You could do that, but in this case, the time's flowing, I wouldn't do a ton of setups. The main one you might do is the very first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, scat. And when I say setup, it doesn't have to be, it might just be scat on the snare drum, ba-da, or blah blah, or bass drum or something. Ba, ba, you see? That's a setup. The setup doesn't necessarily mean you gotta go bliggada, 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 or anything like that. It can just be pop, pop, In fact, most of the time it's gonna be that, right? More often than not, you're gonna do a short, quick setup than probably a big, long setup, unless it asks for that, okay? We clear on that formula? Okay. Now, let's see what the next chunk is. Now, half of the problem with reading big band charts, or any charts, is your eye is not getting crossed while you're reading. Okay, here's 80 bars of repeat, you know what I mean? Like, oh, how many, you know? So part of it is getting your eyes to move at the right speed, right? So even if you miss a rhythm, or if you miss a bar or something like that, you jump right back in. And if your eyes are moving at the right speed, you may not catch every little rhythm exactly right, but you aren't going to get lost, and you're going to finally probably pick up where you're at. You know what I mean? So when you got to practice seeing it sort of as like I see every bar as a block. Boom, boom, 2, 3, 4. Look, 2, 3, 4, and I might even look ahead if I get comfortable to do that. So that's part of it too. Your eyes have to move at a certain speed. Let's check out. Beep, bop, boop, boop, da. Some more of the same. Now there's a little stop there, up to hi-hat. 1, 2, bop, bop. So we could loop. Why don't we just play it real quick, 19 through 22. So we got ting, ting, ka ting, ting, ka ba, ba, ting, ka ting, ting, 3, 4, ba, ba. So this is a little deceptively hard. Doesn't look like much, and it's not too much, but it is a little off the beat. It kind of might throw your ear off as to where one is. So let's go with quarter notes on the ride, light quarter notes on the bass drum, 2 and 4 on the snare, on the hi-hat. And we got ting, 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 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, Now I think there's a stop there, it looks like to me. I thought there was a stop later on, but then he played a fill through that, so I don't know. You know, that's up to you, but if you want to stop there, we can. Here we go, 1, 2, bar 19, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. The last one is 1, 2, Yeah. You don't have to set it up right away if you don't want to. You can. You could also kick some of these with a bass drum if you really want to. Let's not worry with that for right now. I'm just mainly snare. Here we go. Same chunk. 1, 2, 1, 2. There you go. 1. 4, 1, 2, everybody, well, let's loop that bar. 1, 2, jump that bar, loop it, and 1. Let's keep playing time. Quarter note. And a hi-hat. Light quarter note on the bass. Same thing at bar B. I'm sorry, I thought it would be 23. So we got back to the hi-hat. Ting, ting, got. Let's play that on the hi-hat. Give me ting. Well, you know what? Let's skip it since we already did that for the sake of time here. Let's do let's do bars 29 and 30. Actually, you know what? Let's do 27 through 30. Ding, ding, ah, ding, 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 ah, oh, ah. So look at that, bar 30, there's an accent on the end of 2 and an accent on the end of 4. Now, if you read just the accents, you might go, ahs, or 1, 2, 3, 4, ah. You can do that, but I wouldn't crash beat 4. I would probably play a short note on beat 4, even though it looks like it's a big hit. I'd go, tap, crash, tap, crash. I just hit the end of 2 and the end of 4. So to sing, I'll sing 27 through 30. Ting, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Okay? Let's look those bars, 27 through 30. Ready? Quarter notes on the right if you need to, that's fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. 1. 4. Yeah, that's it. 1, same thing. 2, you know what to do. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. So that's there's 2 whole bars. There's 2 whole bars of just ding, ding, ding. That's one of the hard parts about reading. Is like it can seem like an eternity. Or sometimes these things will sneak up on you faster than you realize. Kind of hard to tell. Sometimes it happens both ways. Let's try 27 again. 1, 2. I'll help count 2. Ready, go. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. 1, 2, 4. Okay. Good, good. Let's do it one more time. One more time. If you want to set up that last part. When you see that big hit, you see how it's kind of in the bar now instead of on top of the bar? That's what we call sometimes, the European term would be a tutti hit, which is T-U-T-T-I, meaning probably the whole band is hitting it, so you better hit it too. So we call that a tutti hit. And you probably won't see that. Sometimes you see it in the big band chart, but not always. So here we go. So the first 2 hits are cues, but then the last 2 are real hits. So we're going to maybe crash them a little harder. So if you want to set it up, pa-pa, or something like that if you want. Here we go. 1, 2, 2. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. You got it. Easy stuff. You got it. So here we go. Next chunk. I'm going to sing it. 1, 2, pa, 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 boom, ba. Pa, 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 ba, ba, boom, ba. It's kind of the same thing twice, right? When you look at that, it looks kind of different, but if you really look at the way it's accented, it's kind of just the same thing repeated, right? Everybody got that? You see where I'm at? Bar 31 through whatever, 34. Here we go. Play it on just the snare drum. Now, you could crash all those, but it might be a little busy and loud and heavy. So you might do maybe just the snare or like a light shoulder crash in the snare. Or if they're lower tones, you might hit the bass drum. Or some combination thereof. There's really an endless variety of things you can do with these rhythms. I'd say the most common version would be just to smack it on the snare and a little light crash or some sort of accent. Or sometimes I'll go to the floor tom for the 3, 4. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody got it? Let's do it. 1, let's realize all our dreams. Make all your dreams and wishes come true. 31, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, So what I did is I actually sang the and of 4 of the previous bar. Sometimes when you play in a big band, they want the pickup notes. So if you look at bar 30, we did the and of 4, I'm sorry. So when the band leader's counting it off, we'll go 1, 2, A 1, 2, 3, cha-cha, you know what I mean? Like you give that little pickup, because it just feels more complete that way, you know? Let's try that. So give me the pickups, they'll say pickups to bar through 31. You ever heard anybody say that, pickups to bar 31? People say it when they're rehearsing, they want that pickup note. 1, and so you might even go plop, plop, I do that all the time when people are counting off stuff. They love it when you put a little lead in. Even if it's, you know, rehearsal or something like that, it's not a bad idea. It gives them the beat. So here we go. Give me the pickups to bar 31 all the way through to bar 34. 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 3. Technically, it's different on the second bar. Now, I'd say that accents probably the and the note. So you want to still hear that difference a little bit. So one is boom bop at the end, and the other one is ba boom bop, right? Now that's up to you. You do whatever you want, but there is a slight difference. You know, you could play the same setup for both. Excuse me, or you could differentiate that. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you. But it's all about, you know, instantaneously looking at a rhythm and kind of seeing what it sounds like. It's hardly a little thing. All right, here we go. Let's loop that again. 1, a 2. Give me pickups to 31. A 2, a 1, a 2, a 3. And just explore. Maybe you put a little setup here and there, light setups. Don't let it drag the time down or anything. 1, pickups to 31 again. 1, a 2, I'll use the 1, to 2. Pop, pop, like a stick shot, like where you do like a press, there's a lot of things. Pop, pop, left, right, everybody did it. Show me what a stick shot is. That's a ring shot. Stick shot is where you hit with it. So the left would be a press, dead stroke, pop, pop, and that's the stick shot. Yeah, you can do it with a rough too. You want to press hard enough to where it doesn't really. Yeah, so that's one. Here's another one. Both. Blah blah. Either on the high tom or in snare, or floor tom and snare, or the tom, blah, blah, So it's a double stop. I use that every time I make that thing tonight, and I'll be using all of it. And then here's the last one, right, left, right. Pop, 2, 3, pop, variations and all that. Those are like 3 of the most common big band setups. Just, you know, stick shot, both, right, left, you know, that kind of thing. Let's try a loop of that. Loop loop that section again for me. Loop that section again. One, pickups for 31. 1, 2. If you want to play with sticks, you can.
It's
1. So, let's look at the top of the next page. This gets a little more hairy in terms of, rhythms. Now, if you want to hear me, what I think, so a lot of that is probably horns, but some of it's going to be just, So what I'm seeing is 1, 2, 3, 4, ta, second is boom, ba, 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 ba. Let's do this. Let's just hit the and of 4. Well, you know what? Let's listen to it one more time. Let's follow along.
1, 2,
Oops.
of 1.
Sorry, on its own there. So let's follow along, and what we're going to do is just look at what we have so far. Just listen and look. You can air drum if you like, or whatever. But we'll do that up to that.
1,
Go
2,
back to the first
of
page.
1, 2, 3.
Sorry. You ready? First page.
1, 2, of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Listen to what the drums do. I have 2 beat, even though it's 4 feel, which is fine. Just hit the snare drum. Next page. That's a little tricky on that second page. Let me rewind it just like a little bit. Something like that. So if you look, that whole first bar, even though there's a bunch of accented notes, they really only hit the and of 4, don't they? Whatever it is. Leading into that is like the other bars that we did. So it feels better to probably do 8 bars of this instead of just these 4, because it sort of makes it feel more complete. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, let's do that. Let's loop these 4 bars, even though it might feel a little weird. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, pop, pop, ba, 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 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, 3, 4. You See? A lot of upbeats there, and that's where it's gonna throw your ear off probably. Let's just do the first 2 bars. 1 and 2. So it's gonna be, let's just play the first 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. Yeah, that bar and the next bar. So those 2 bars. Well, that's what I was saying. Those other notes are all snare. They just wrote out the drum fill for you. 1. You know what I mean? So that's not what the horns are playing, I don't think. I think they're going ba 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 from the previous bar or the previous 4. So, but let's just do this. Let's listen to it one more time. So they are doing ba ba ba. Yeah. So it's, can you flip to the other page and listen to it one more time? Probably easier to work that out 8 bars at a time. But let's do that. Ba 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 ba. 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then. This is kind of semi-modern big band. I mean, big band, you know, who knows what modern big band even is, but you know, you may or may not put the 4 on the floor. I do it a lot actually, because I just like that feeling of a thick bottom end. But if you don't want to do that, you can also incorporate the bass drum into some of those hits. You don't have to do everything on just the snare. You can definitely do it elsewhere. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at the second line on the second page. I'm sorry, hold on. If you look at bar 40, what is that, 42, 1, 2, 4, Now again, I wouldn't accent that, but you might smack the snare drum lightly on that, not smack it, but lightly tap the snare drum. Let's do that bar a few times. Loop it like a 2-bar, let's loop bars, 41 and 42. So ting, 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 boom, ba. You see how it's tied? That second note you don't play, so you only hit the and of 2 and 4 and. You don't hit beat 3. Okay, y'all see that? Tied note. Here we go. Loop bars 41 and 42. Ting, a ting, a 1, a 2, and here we go. 41. 4, 1. Sometimes you want it big, sometimes you want it light, it just depends. So it looks like our next big thing is, there's going to be a rhythm we already had in bar 61, 62, we already had that. We already had 63 and 64, 68 we just now did, 69, ba, ba. Ba, ba, Now that right there is a rest. Now that's a little unorthodox because, if I were to read that as written, I would go ba, boo, stop, and assume that somebody else was filling in that space. But if you listen to this, the drum goes triplets or something, right? So again, these are just suggestible ideas, nothing in a big band drum chart. We are interpreting a chart. Like when you read a Mozart violin concerto, you're interpreting it, but every note is written out. You're not going to add notes to it. You're going to play what's on the page. You may put your own swing to it, or not swing, but your own shape to it, your own thing, but it's all written out. Now, they're interpreting it in another way. When we're interpreting this, we're interpreting all of it. Like anything you see up there, you could either leave out or add extra things that aren't even written in there. If you hear like, oh wow, everybody's hit this hit, I better hit it too. Maybe the arranger forgot, or maybe they just didn't want to write it out and they just thought you'd hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really an individualized thing. You could get every drummer in this building to read those charts and everybody would play it differently. We'd all play different fills and pick different things, or assuming everybody, or experienced big band drummer or whatever. Everybody has their own way of doing it, Nobody does it the same. All this sounds good. Let's see. Let's try the ending. Let's try 75 through the end. So it's going to be that first 2 hits at 75 are just, I think, a setup. Ba, 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 4, and I may repeat. It's a little confusing because sometimes they repeat a few things and they don't write it all out. But 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. Stop it on beat 4 is pretty weird, right? Ba, 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 stop. Stop. Can we try that much? Play it on just the snare and the ride mainly. And catch what you can catch in there. And the main hits are going to be the and of 2, in the first bar, end of 4 of the third bar, end of 2 of the fourth bar, and then this stop note, which is a dry, just hit it with no crash or anything. Here we go, ting, a ting, a 75, here we go. So I don't think that repeat means to repeat that rhythm again. They do it elsewhere, but I think it's just that. Let's listen to the ending real quick. Give it listen here. Well, shoot. I think we're around 55. Now that's super confusing because now I'm listening to it. Some of that's on the snare that is the band. They go ba da ba, ba da ba, and then they do repeat that. So they go ba da ba, ba do ba ba ba. Did y'all hear all that? Let's do it again here. Oh, wait, I was wrong. That's not even that rhythm. So that rhythm in bar 60 something, 66 is totally not even the rhythm that they're playing. It's got like a typo. I mean, it's not a typo, but it's definitely not the rhythm they're playing. They're going like ba-doo bop, and it's like boo bop. It's missing. But anyway, so does that help? Is that good? All right. So ba-da-ba-ska, ba-da-ba-ska, ba-doo-ba-ba-ba, ba-doo-ba-ska. Everybody got that? So the first 2 bars are repeated. Now that's unusual. The proper way to do that on bar 76 would have been to rewrite that. Because there's tons of other places where they do the opposite, where they just put a repeat sign and they don't repeat the previous rhythm. Y'all get what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look, to me, if I were to read that, I'd go ba-da-ba, time, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? But what it really is ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. They're not consistent throughout this chart. But see, this is not particular to this. This happens all the time in big band music. One time they'll do something one way, and then the next time it's another way. So there's really sort of Wild West type thing, you know, it's kind of whatever the arranger wants to do. So why don't we do this? Let's listen to it one more time. Follow along with the music, kind of air drum, listen to what the drummer's doing, kind of sing it in your head. Let me rewind here. fresh air, it's so hot in here.
Mhm.